In this video, traders, I want to share with you my pre-market checklist that I do before each trading day. Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. All right, so I'm a big believer in checklists and routines in trading because it just centers you. It puts you in a professional mindset. You feel prepared. You feel confident. You feel comfortable. Is it a holy grail? Does it mean you're always going to get every trade right? No, it doesn't. But you go into it with an idea, and the checklist should be designed to align with your trading style. So I'm going to share with you what I do if I'm looking to day trade a specific instrument, and I'm going to use the Dow as an example, or the Nasdaq, same basically fundamental thing. But it depends on what you're trading. And it depends on what you're looking for in your trades and how you trade, but your checklist should be aligned with that. So whilst you're more than happy to use mine, if we're trading slightly differently, then look at what's important to you, because that will align you, make you feel confident, make you feel comfortable, etc. So let me show you my checklist anyway. So the first thing I do is, I look at the bigger picture. I zoom out and assess conditions. By the way, I'll tell you where you can get a copy of this. I'm happy to give you a copy of this. At the end, I'll tell you where to get that. So bigger picture, zoom out, assess conditions. I'm a big fan. What's the bigger picture? So what's happened to price so far this week? In other words, where's it gone? Are we at highs? Are we kind of ran really excessively for 5 days in a row or 4 days in a row on the 5th day? Or have we chopped around? Have we tested highs and lows? We just want to get a feel for where are we. If we've been running hard for 4 days, maybe I don't want to be chasing longs at the open. We want to let it consolidate a bit. You start to frame your idea. Or maybe we've had a big reversal and now we're kind of following through on day 2. That's important because I might get a big run up to about noon and then it might start to back off. Or maybe we consolidate, then break out in the afternoon. I start to structure the idea. And then look at what's happened in the overnight session. So in the overnight session, I'm looking at, so if you look at the Dow, for example, here, my overnight sessions kind of starting at, we closes UK time 9 o'clock. So I'm sort of saying from about 11 o'clock or noon, what's the overnight session? So I'm looking, I'm basically saying, well, what's happened? Well, actually, we've pushed the fresh highs there. And we kind of, look, we're about to open in a bit. By the way, today's Thanksgiving, so it's slightly different. But the point is, hey, look, what's the range? The range is that. We've pushed up higher. And we're now opening back to where we pretty much closed yesterday. So that's interesting. Is that a rejection? Do I think we might retest that during this trading day? Or does it feel like that's, should we be back to the midpoint of the range? That's what should that be what I'm playing for? I'm looking and saying what's happening in the overnight session. Have we kind of done big V-shaped reversals? Have we done nothing? No range? What have we done? Where are we likely to open? So I'm looking at this kind of just before the open. I'm saying, right, we're opening pretty much. There's no gap now because we're opening where we were, but we did quite a lot to the upside. So does that open the upside up? Or does that mean that with rejection, I start to formulate my plan? And I say, okay, what's the likely trading range today? I'm just looking at the ATR. I'm saying, what's my ATR? Am I expecting a 100-point range or a 500-point range? And so again, I can start to structure my trading day. If the market's already up 400 points, I might not look for longs if the average range that we've normally done is 350. You might be like, okay, might be on the edge of things. So be careful. Maybe don't look for shorts, but definitely don't look for longs. And which key support and resistance levels are in play? So there I'm looking and saying, okay, all right, anything from the overnight session? Yeah, there's a level there. What about from the prior days? And I might go out of time frame now and go, okay, look at my 15-minute, look at my daily and say, oh, actually, you know what? We're probably still in this range here. We've got a key level back up here. And I'll start to mark these on my charts, or I'll use more likely a kind of horizontal line and say, right, here's my major kind of levels that I'm framing, so the highs and the lows, and then I'll go and use the rectangle to say, actually, you know what, this sort of level is maybe a level I'll look to buy at, maybe I'll look to short level. I start to frame and formulate an idea. So that's my bigger picture. Okay, now that I've done a bigger picture, I go and say, what's coming up in the economic calendar? So pretty common sense, guys. Make sure you've not got an on-farm payroll, it's got no interest rate decisions or anything crazy. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to check for if there's any holidays scheduled for the exchange. Is it going to be a half day today? Are people away? Is it what is it? I need to understand whether the volume is or not. Do any obvious price patterns stand out on the higher time frame? So I'm going to look at the daily time frame. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go, okay, what's my daily time frame looking at? Bear in mind, this is a 24-hour chart because it's a CFD equivalent. But you look for what you want to look for and say, okay, well, actually, we've pushed up high. We're pulling back. We've found some kind of little tails here. Am I expecting a continuation? Maybe not, because it's Thanksgiving week, so maybe I don't want to look for that. But that could be a kind of break point. We could be breaking to push higher. And there's some support here, and we bounced off it a couple of days ago. Maybe a consolidation day. Whatever it is, I start to frame it and get an idea. What type of market when you're trending, range bound? I'm going to class that as a trending market with a small range bound condition this last week. So how does that affect me? Do I want to see a range break fake? Do I want to see it test lower and push higher? Again, might not be trading it from a swing trading perspective, but I'm aligning my day trading with the broader theme on the daily chart. So where's price position at the moment? Again, you just said that we're not quite at highs. We've pulled back. We're pulling back at the moment after a good drive. So how does that affect what I'm going to do? And then the prior day's trade assessment, so previous day's trade assessment, do we get a wide range? You had a wide range, maybe we're going to get a narrow range today. So maybe I want to be mean reversion, focused. What was the day type? Was it a trending day? Was it a choppy day? Did we rotate around the VWAP? How did we trade? So again, I'm going to go in, I'm going to say, right, give me the 5-minute chart. Let me zoom out and let me say, okay, what actually happened yesterday? Let me clear off some of these drawings so I can see it with a clear mind and say, okay, now sometimes you guys might want to use tools that automatically fill in the regular trading hour session for you. That's absolutely fine. Or you can just manually mark it on. I'm a big fan of tools helping you from time to time, but I'm also a big fan of using actual just normal kind of, that's not what I'm looking for, never mind, just normal kind of putting it on manually, so you kind of feel where things are. So I can see yesterday reasonably choppy. We had some kind of rotations. We're rotating around. Where's my drawing tool gone? It's up here, isn't it? Rotating around. These are the kind of rotations we had, but an uptrend. So I go, okay, what sort of rotations were we looking at? Okay, so 35, 774, 35. Okay, interesting. So about 75-point rotation there, 50 point here, 100. Okay, I've got an idea. I start to frame what I'm going to do. And then, where was the close? Was it in the high of the day? Yes, it was. It wasn't at the midpoint of the day. It was the high of the day. We got some follow through overnight. Where did price go that subsequently got rejected? We pushed lower a few times and that got rejected. But it's not that strong because the rotations were there. It wasn't a grinding trend day. All right, so I'm starting to formulate some ideas. And then I go, look, okay, let me go back to the overnight session again. And if you're trading currencies, you'd be like the prior sessions, so the Asian session, European session, US session. What's the range overnight? What's been done? Any levels tested that are new, fresh levels? And we kind of already looked at this before. Let me get rid of that and put it back on this. We already looked at it before, but we can kind of say, okay, well, actually, we pushed higher. That does open up the possibility for us to test that level again today. We ground on and continued the trend from yesterday. Yes, there are some sellers there. It's a rotational type market still, but we have pushed higher. We have opened up fresh territory. So do I want to position for that early, or do I want to buy a pullback, or do I want to start to fade that? And, where is price likely to open? So exactly where is it going to open? It looks like it's about to open where the gap was. So there's no gap to fill or to wait to fill to position. And any key levels in play from overnight that need marking on the chart? Yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, that's a reasonable level there. That level there, that 35,900, decent level. If I'm positioned long and it gets to that, I might want to peel some off. I might want to peel some off, or maybe I want to wait for that to clear and hold before I get long, or do I want to see it? You start to structure things. So checklist, because having that checklist and theme and idea helps you feel more confident, feel more comfortable, develop a roadmap for the day, say what I'm not going to do, more importantly, where I'm not going to get involved. I just know what's going on, have a good idea of where I'm headed, what I'm looking for, how I'm going to position, and it just helps you. And you know that, hey, this is now getting me in the zone for trading. I've done my prep. I'm confident. I'm focused. I'm acting in a professional manner. And I'm as prepared as I can be to take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves in the trading day. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.